Well, I've been working in the latest Affinity for a few days now, just playing around, and I'd like to go over a few things that I've noticed that are obviously new to the platform. If you're completely new to Affinity, then the whole thing will be new, and you've got, I guess, a free app that would stand itself to be a competitor of the Adobe products, which is a pretty massive, valuable asset. There are, for people who use the previous Affinity programs, there are still some differences, quite a lot of differences when you actually get into it. Some of the first ones I've noticed are just to do with the layout and some of the integration tools. So I mainly work using PDFs. I mainly print out, create documents to be printed. So one of the big differences that people have noticed is the new tools up the top here, the little shortcuts. I'm just going to flick across to the previous version. So the layout itself is very similar. You can flick between documents. You've got all your everything here, layers and different menus and things like that, and that's totally customizable. I always used to use the publisher program. I purchased all three licenses, and one of the things I really loved about the version 2 is something they've carried across in a slightly different form in the new Affinity, is the ability to swap between your three different apps. Mainly because for convenience, I used to mainly create the documents in with page layouts. So I'd have my page spreads down in this page column, and I'd use master pages and things like that. So I discovered that if you open Publisher, you will get quick access to the other two programs. So that's something they've really emphasized with the new one, and I think it looks really good. There's a lot of customization available by the looks of it, and some things that obviously will need to be improved in general. One of the first things I noticed was the color palette of the menu is gone. Now it's simple outline icons, and you can still hover over and click on the buttons, and you can also create like a floating menu, so you can just do subtools where it can be placed here, so you don't have to hover. If you're going to quickly flick between the different tools, you can have that floating. One of the things I did notice is it tends to move around a little bit if you flick between. It's going to prove me wrong now, but I had it sort of appearing here and here and down here, so it tends to move around. So if you don't want to use it, I would just get rid of it once you're finished. That might help, just if you're flicking between tools. It would be nice to make, I guess, a custom version of that. So it might be like your 5 favorite tools that are buried in these menus, and you can make your own. You may be able to. If you can, let me know. So the standard version comes with, I think it comes with it comes with a vector, pixel, layout, and Canva AI. And I won't be talking about the AI Canva stuff. That requires a subscription in this video. Go and explore it yourself. They actually have a free trial at the moment. This isn't an endorsed product placement or anything, but everything I'll be looking at is free at the moment, and Canva has offered a free trial, 30-day free trial of Canva. So you will be able to play around with those tools if you like. I will click on it and show a couple of things, but you feel free to do this yourself. One of the interesting things, which I haven't quite figured out yet, is you can add, there's some other quick menu tools here, and one of them's compositing, which I've got there for a reason, but I'll show you in a second. I think they're just like more specialized, so like the tools are, I guess, they're more specific to certain things. So you've got like all your quick adjustment tools here. That might be a handy one. Some of these tools I use over here, so the adjustment tools especially, so that's good. It's got a lot of these actually already here ready to go, so that might be helpful with especially with photo editing. And there's a lot of empty space. I'm using a 2K monitor. One of the things that people have noticed is the UI, the text and the UI itself actually takes up a little bit more space. It's not really a problem on a 2K monitor. It might be different on a 1080p monitor, I'm not sure. But one of the things that I noticed was you can make your own version, your own little studio, and I imagine you can add the different tools you want in there. So I think I can just edit the layout, so I can go view, tools, customize, and I can add my own tools to this. So I can add the measure tool down here, and shape builder, so some from all the different layouts. So they used to call them personas, but some of the different all these different little mini studios, they call them now. So you can see I can add all of my own. So I could have my favorite, like I said before, instead of a floating icon menu, I just have my favorite tools that I use a lot here. And I think I'll do that at some point, because I do use these studios in I guess concurrence with each other, or in parallel. That would save me a bit of flicking between, and that's fantastic. So another thing you may notice is there's hotkeys for each of the menus. I don't think there is for the custom ones just yet, but yeah, again, that's probably something they'll add as a small update. So that's fine. One of the other things I have noticed is the export tools here. So the export tools seem to be pretty similar across all different studios, and there's options that used to be, if you open up your individual programs, so instead of publisher, you'd open up photo or designer, and there'd be an export persona or an export studio, I guess, and it would have some of these tools. These tools are available in the export panel in file as well. Obviously there you can edit all your export tools, and you can muck around as much as you want. You've got all the options in the world. This is more of I guess a quick export panel in my opinion, and you can see you've got your objects, and I think if you have a selection, it might hopefully have somehow you can, it's probably right there. Oh yeah, selection only. Yeah, so it's really good. I'm sure I'll use that a lot. One thing I noticed that's different is the if I go to, how do I go to it? I just want to click on the PNG. All right. So one thing I noticed is you've got all the options here, regular options, but one thing is the Canva design is a new one. So obviously when you log in, or you open up Affinity, it logs you into Canva. Obviously you have to have a Canva account for this to download it, and it will export it to Canva. So you can see it, if I hit the button, it says uploading to Canva. Now I have used Canva a fair bit. I use it for work. One of the businesses I work with, they use the Adobe products, and they use Canva to make reels and things like that. It's got some simple video editing tools that might be useful for people, and obviously individual assets, especially in vector, like making shapes and icons and things. Just being able to quickly upload them, that saves a few button clicks. One of the problems I have had with Canva, with this upload thing, is it puts it in the designs folder, and I'm kind of having trouble with it. So I don't know, it's kind of weird. I don't know how, maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but let me know. I probably won't do it now, but I was having trouble with it. I was trying to select a design, and it was kind of glitching out on me, but it's not doing it now, so that's fine. Anyway, I haven't used Canva much with this integration, but yeah, it uploaded it pretty seamlessly. What else is there? So yes, there's some new tools available. that are in the free tools. So again, no subscription. One, I just found it by playing around. I went to the compositing. I added the compositing tool, but you can get this. You can go to this via if you're in any of the studios. You just go View, Tools, Customize, and you'll scroll down to the effects. And there's one called a glitch tool, which I believe is new. I went back and had a look at V2, and it's not. I can't find it unless it's got another name or something. But it's got some really interesting effects that you can do. So the glitch tool, I'll show you, I guess, what it does. You can obviously play around with it yourself. So what I did was, because I feel like it's a photo editing tool, I added it to my menu. So it's in its own little section, but I just thought I'd add it to this sidebar. But it is in the compositing one. There's like the unsharp mask, Gaussian blur, and then all the different ones. The clarity tool, high pass tool, and then there's the glitch tool, which has quite a lot of things to play around with. So the glitch tool, so some of these were already there. I think they all were actually. Maybe not. I'm not sure. But the glitch tool wasn't in the previous version. And then if you open it up, you'll be brought to a whole bunch of different options on glitching out your images. So I've been playing around with this pigeon, this native pigeon to New Zealand, and just been having fun glitching it out. I've selected the bird itself and made it in a new layer using the object selection tool, which works fine for the most part. I've actually timed if it's any quicker or slower than V2, and it seems about the same. It looks pretty similar. Like it is what it is. It's probably just going to get better and better. But you can see I'm glitching out my background and just doing all kinds of different things. The aberration tool looks pretty interesting, where you can split all the color channels and you can do, different colors, and just have fun with that. It goes different directions. So I imagine using this in lots of things in combination with one another is going to work really well for designers, and I think album covers and vintage looking things, and all that sort of stuff. So I think that's a pretty good tool as a free edition, and it's not an AI tool or anything. It's just straight up, just more things to play around with. So in the in the Canva section, they've now placed the object selection tool, and you can also get that in the pixel tool. So to get the object selection tool working, you need to download the one of the AI machine learning things, and you'll notice in the Canva AI tab that there's a selection or move tool, then there's your object selection tool with some regular selection tools, and then there's a bunch of other different tools like colorize tool, and portrait lighting tool, portrait blur tool. These are all the AI tools that you need the Canva subscription for. So again, free trial. I'll probably activate it and play around, but some people have a bit of an objection to generative AI and all that. But that's your decision, of course. No one's forcing you to use it. So with the different Canva AI tools, the object selection tool works the same as V2. So I'll just get rid of this one. I didn't have to do that actually, but I'll just get it out of the way, and then it'll just think for a while, and then it'll try to identify the individual subjects. So you can see it's done a pretty good job at identifying the pigeon and blocking out the sticks that it's actually standing on. And I think it's it's serviceable. I've got a lino cut that I did, which I'll show the last thing, the last new feature that I think is something that people have been really looking forward to, and that's the image trace tool. So I can't find it in this menu. Please tell me if it's there. I've had a bit of a look, but to basically image trace is to trace an image and turn it into vector shapes or vector curves. So what you have to do is just get your image and obviously make sure it's highlighted on the layers panel, and then go vector image trace, and you'll see straight away it's vectorized. It's showing a preview of a vectorized version, and it's probably just highlighting one of the issues as well that I've had with the newest version. And it works. It's fine. It's now vectorized this image, and of course you need to play around and I guess familiarize yourself with how that works, and how you'll be able to actually use it feasibly in your projects. But it is there, and it does seem to work. So yeah, that's the new features that I have noticed in the new Affinity. A lot more sleek customizations available. The other thing is, if you don't want any of these tools, such as the Canva one, if you're deciding to go, not need all the AI tools, you can just get rid of that Canva one. You can get rid of any of them. So you can get rid of, I wonder if you can get rid of all of them. Hang on, let's see. Well, you can get rid of all of them. So, yeah. So anyway, you can play around with that as much as you want. Now, some of the issues I've had is that the little floating panels are actually floating around the subtools. They've been, I guess, kind of, yeah, just see it, there it is up here now. It's kind of, they kind of move about a little bit. It's not a big deal. You just right click it and get rid of it, but that could be annoying. I did have some issues with the Canva exporting, which I couldn't reproduce in the video, but again, there's some issues with that. One of the big ones is, and you can see it now, is the speed switching between projects, between images or whatever. I've got 3 things open. None of them have, well, that's now a vector, but even if I undo it, the hand one, so it's just, I've clicked on it, it's taking me forever to go between panels. And someone might say, oh, well, it's your computer, it's your this or your that. I'd say, well, that might be true, except I've got this V2 open, and you can see it's flicking between projects instantaneously. One of them is a very large project. It's, well, not very large, but it's 24 pages with multiple layers. It's got photo frames, it's got all kinds of stuff going on. There's actually less data in this, in the Affinity, the new Affinity, and it's just taking forever to flick between. So there must be some sort of memory leak going on or something like that. Hopefully they'll fix it. I'm sure they will, but yeah, that's definitely a performance issue. And probably the biggest reason I haven't started working in this and updating my projects. Obviously, whatever you do, if you want to keep using V2 forever, then make sure you're backing everything up and saving it in the V2 compatible, because the V3 will save it as a different project. So it doesn't say it right there, but it is a different project that's not a different format, that's not compatible with the old version. So it's not backwards compatible necessarily. Oh, so V3, they won't be updating it, so V3 will not, you will not be able to open V3 products with V2 program. That took me a long time to say, but and unfortunately I have had some crashes, and more than I'm used to. People have said, oh, maybe it's your computer, maybe it's this, maybe it is, like maybe there's a graphics card issue or something, but straight out of the box it has been having some performance issues, and I've checked all the memory settings and stuff, and yeah, it's just glitching out sometimes, and it's crashing on me, and at the moment that's a bit of a nuisance that yeah, and like I'm flicking between panels, and you can see it's like moving about all the time, and it's just little things that I'm sure they'll fix. Like, but like, do I? People say, well, it's free, you shouldn't complain, and I'm not going to complain. I don't want this video to be about complaining. Yes, it's free, but I guess I own V2 and it works much better right now for what I need. It's smooth, it very rarely crashes, and I'm used to the layout. So when they improve V3, I will probably move across eventually, but yeah, V2 still works for me perfectly. So my time, especially if I'm working on a paid job, my time is valuable. Your time is valuable. Yes, it's free, but your time is not free. So do you want to, I guess, help them beta test, or help them identify and report bugs, or do you want to use the one you've already got? Now, if you're coming across and it's new to you and you haven't got V2, then that's obviously a moot point. You're going to either persist with this or come back later. But yeah, and hopefully they keep the tools free, and of course you can have your subscription AI tools and stuff. So yeah, hopefully they just keep incentivizing people using it, and obviously they want to funnel people into Canva. So that's great. Good luck to them with that. But yeah, the tools are still there to use at this point for free. And what else? Oh yeah, you can import Adobe projects. You can import AI files, and that's really good. You can do InDesign ones, but you have to export them as a different format. So you have to go and open InDesign and then export it as a different format. And of course, PSDs are available as well. So that's probably a big incentive for companies and businesses who pay these big Adobe subscriptions. If they're just using it for photo editing, layouts, and vectors, then that might be a big value add and a big expense that you can eliminate. So yeah, I think, and there has been a lot of people saying that they've come across and they really love it. So anyway, that's some thoughts, and yeah, let me know what you think of the new Affinity. Are you going to move across from Adobe? Are you a Canva user and you just want to learn about a bit more advanced professional level editing tools? I think for you, this is a great tool to start with. It's free, of course. If you're a hobbyist or whatever, then you can play around to your heart's content. It's not such a big deal if there's a few slowdowns, and it's just a trust thing. It's like a do I want to invest my time into this program, knowing that I need to run a business and I need this to work? So just some things to think about. Have a good one.